SH studies history. In this episode, we exercise our right to vote.
Au niveau économique, politique et judiciaire, ça peut amener, comme j'ai dit, comme une grande influence.
Visit a museum and test the historical memories of the secondary fives.
Pierre-Joseph Olivier Chauveau, Gédéon Ouimet.
I'm Mulsa Brian, and you're watching SHTV. Welcome to SHTV. I'm your host, Mulsa Brian. I am standing in the oldest street in Montreal, which is ideal for this week's history episode. Let's start off with our first piece about how crucial history is.
Let's talk a little bit about the workplace accidents during the industrial era. So let's begin with the cons of the Industrial Revolution. Firstly, there was a lot of hard labor and bad work conditions during these times. On average, workers would work for 14 to 16 hours a day, and they would work for 6 days a week. Not to mention the fact that workers lived in very bad conditions and in poor neighborhoods. And this is the reason why a lot of illnesses were developed, and these illnesses eventually led to death. And finally, workers who were injured during the job were automatically fired and replaced by other workers. This caused a lot of unemployment for many people and eventually led to poverty. So how have we learned from our mistakes? Workers nowadays work in much safer environments compared to before. Also, a person in today's society works on average 8.8 hours a day, whereas during the industrial era, they used to work for 14 to 16 hours a day, including children aged 5 years old. Also, workers today get paid enough to be able to afford homes and live in clean neighborhoods, whereas before, they used to live in very poor neighborhoods and develop a lot of illnesses. And finally, in today's society, child labor is strictly forbidden, whereas before, child labor was something considered as normal. Fun fact, April 28th is the day of mourning. And what that means is we remember the workers who have died, who were injured or became ill from their job. So this proves that, yes, we learned from our mistakes. History is important for several reasons. One of those reasons is learning from our mistakes. For example, workplace accidents have been a major cause of death during the industrial era. Since then, we have learned from our mistakes and have put workers in a safer environment. Here's a skit to showcase this issue.
What are you doing? Get back to work. These rocks aren't going to move by themselves. I can't keep going, sir. Please. I broke my leg. I can't keep working. If you can't continue working, then get out of here!
Tigranes the Great was one of the biggest emperors in Armenian history and had the biggest empire we've ever seen as Armenian people. He ruled over Minor Asia for 40 years in 95 BC and was given the name King of Kings by the people he ruled over. His kingdom was very big. It stretched from the Mediterranean Sea to the Caspian Sea, from the Armenian highlands to Palestine, and he ruled over the entirety of Anatolia. But how was he able to conquer this big territory? Well, he first started his conquest by taking Georgia, Azerbaijan, and the Caucasus Mountains. He continued towards Parthians and took from them Artemic and Mesopotamia. And finally, he conquered the whole Seleucid Empire. But what were the borders of this big empire, of this big territory? Well, from the north, there was Pontus, the Arabian deserts from the south, Iran from the east, and the Mediterranean Sea from the west. Absolutely crucial to study history because it gives you a better idea of your roots, where you come from as a person. It also gives you a better idea of your identity, who you are and what your worth is. In the following skit, you will see the roots of Armenians.
I am Dikran the Great, ruler of the Armenian Empire. I have conquered the entirety of Minor Asia.
Why do you like history?
I like history because I can see how we've developed as a society and where we've came from and all the progress we've done as a people on earth. And also because I can know my roots, especially in Armenian history. I can see how the Armenian people has lived before us.
What's your name?
Arakejajan.
And what grade are you in?
I am sec 1.
Okay, we have a few questions for you about history. So the first question is, from what years did World War I and World War II start and end?
World War I started at 1914 and it ended at 1918.
And World War II?
World War II started, I think, at 1939 to 1946 or
45, yeah, you're right. And our second question is, what main events happened between World War I and World War II?
It was, I think, the Great Depression.
Yeah, there are more, you're right.
I'm standing in front of one of the oldest museums in Montreal, Chateau Ramsey.
As you can see, we're taking a look at Chateau Ramsey, the oldest museum in Montreal. The secondary fours visit a bunch of museums in this next piece.
what were the dates of the First World War and the Second World War?
The first was 1914 until 1918, and the second from 1939 to 1945.
Okay, and which events happened between the First World War and the Second World War?
La Grande Dépression, le traité de Versailles, and le crash boursier.
I'm standing in front of the oldest church in Montreal. We had the chance to sit down with a member of the Foundation for Genocide Education and ask them 5 questions.
My name is Hrag Jinjinian. I'm actually a graduate of Surpago. I have studied in finance. I am a wealth advisor at National Bank Financial.
What type of work do you conduct as a member of the Genocide Foundation?
I'm a member of the board of directors at the Genocide Education Foundation. I was implicated in the foundation since its early years in 2015 when it got started. I represent the Armenian National Committee within the board.
What is your mission at the Genocide Foundation? How do you plan on fulfilling it?
Our mission at the Genocide Education Foundation is raising awareness about genocides. That's our main mission. How do we plan on fulfilling it? Well, in different ways, but mainly through education. Through education in schools. That's what's most important for us. We've actually came up with a guide for the teachers and students, a guide on all genocides accepted by Canada. It's a guide that talks about the genocides itself. It has workbooks, videos, and a lot of other resources that can help teachers and students actually get to know about the genocides, understand the genocides, the consequences of each genocide.
Do you think it is important to learn about genocides in schools, and why?
It is important to teach genocide in schools. It is the raison d'être of the foundation itself. We live in a society where we're surrounded by different people, different races, different colors. We have to learn to respect each other. That's the most important thing. And what the foundation does actually, we are very active in schools. The foundation goes throughout Quebec and does presentations, talks about personal stories, about survivors, descendants of genocides, and teaches the students as well as the teachers about the consequences of not respecting each other, not being able to live with each other. So I find that those exercises that the foundation does within each school are extremely important, and the education itself is an important tool.
What do you think is the best way to spread awareness about topics like genocide?
Spread awareness about topics about genocide, well, first of all, education, through schools definitely. That's what the foundation is trying to do. But I would add as well, the politicians have to be involved. If we want to live in a society where we respect each other and genocides don't happen, definitely politicians and the government have to be involved, not just at the school level, but really at a national level. Each country has to promote genocide education as well.
What advice can you give to the students of Surpago as the children of a nation like Armenia?
Advice to students of Surpago. I myself am a graduate of Surpago. So instead of giving advice, I would like to recognize actually what each student does. From their early ages, I think students of Surpago and all of Armenian descent are exposed to the genocide theme. It's not an easy theme. It's since our young ages, from our parents, teachers, we get educated on genocide. And I would just tell them to continue the fight that they are doing, to even after you guys graduate, continue to believe in human rights, continue to believe in justice, continue to fight for genocide recognition. That's the message I would give to them.
Okay, so what's your name? What grade are you in?
Sec 3.
Okay. So our question to you is, from which years did World War I and World War II start and end?
So World War I started in 1914 and ended in 1918. And World War II started in 1939 and ended in 1945.
Okay. And which main events followed from World War I to from World War II?
The Great Depression and the stock market crash.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm standing in front of Montreal City Hall, where our elected officials do most of their work. Recently, we had the chance to exercise our own right to vote. Let's see how that went.
Présentement, je suis avec mes élèves de secondaire 2 qui posent des questions aux élèves de secondaire 5 suite à leur vote. Ils doivent prendre des notes sur l'organisation, les connaissances des élèves à propos de la politique québécoise, parce qu'ils vont écrire un compte-rendu de l'événement qui se déroule aujourd'hui à Surpagop.
We're asking questions to secondary 4 and 5 students for a text we're going to write about elections.
Au niveau économique, politique et judiciaire, ça peut amener, comme j'ai dit, comme une grande influence. Une influence comme baisser les impôts ou construire un bon réseau de transport, etc., etc.
The Sec 4 and 5s are voting for the Surpagop elections.
And the secondary 5 students are answering our questions we have.
On met les 5 partis. Quels partis sont souverainistes et fédéralistes?
Donc, il y a le Parti de Québec solidaire, le Parti québécois, le Parti libéral du Québec, le Parti québécois et la CAQ, la coalition Avenir Québec. Les partis souverains sont le Québec solidaire et le Parti québécois. Et les partis qui sont fédéralistes sont le Parti libéral, la CAQ, la coalition Avenir Québec et l'autre, je m'en souviens pas.
J'ai créé mon compte. Ne l'écoute pas.
Are you recording? What's le troisième lien?
We have two questions to ask you today. So, during what years did World War I and World War II start and end?
Okay, First World War, 14 until 18. And then the Second World War is 39 through 45.
Okay. And our second question is, which main events followed after the First World War till the Second World War?
Okay. After the First War was the Traité de Versailles, and then the Crash Boursier, 1929. The dictatorships, and also the Spanish War, Civil War. And then after the Second World War, it was l'ONU. And then you had the Cold War, separation of Germany, and so on, Vietnam War.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Bye.
I'm standing in front of a monument dedicated to Admiral Horatio Nelson. With that in mind, it's time for the next challenge in the Secondary 5 Final Showdown, where they try to remember names of important historical figures.
For this challenge, both the Secondary 5 classes had to pick a teacher and dress them up for Halloween.
So right now we're going to dress up Madame Twig as a witch.
So for this challenge, I brought my extra school uniform with me from home so that Madame Marita could wear it.
Alors bonjour, je mets mon chapeau de sorcière. Je suis déguisée en sorcière parce que c'est un déguisement que j'aime beaucoup.
Donc je suis costumée en élève de Sopagup, plus précisément en élève de 5e secondaire.
Hi, I'm Kanye Doshkunyan. Over the course of the last weekend, the secondary ones were told to vote for which costume they thought was better. Here are the results of the vote.
Bonjour, je me présente, Maude Lavoie, je suis la prof d'histoire de secondaire 3, 4, 5 cette année à l'école sur Pagop. Vous êtes ici pour la présentation du nouveau défi des élèves du secondaire 5, qui est un défi historique. Donc, les élèves vont tester leurs connaissances historiques ainsi que leur capacité à mémoriser des personnages importants de l'histoire du Québec et du Canada. Et les connaissances et la mémorisation, mais ce sont des qualités très importantes dans le cours d'histoire. Donc, on va commencer par la présentation de clips des élèves qui se préparent pour leur défi final.
Vous allez devoir apprendre tous les premiers ministres de l'histoire du Canada en ordre.
Combien de feuilles?
C'est juste une feuille.
Ah,
OK?
Juste une feuille.
Ouais. Non, mais il y en a 4 feuilles, 4 copies. Ben là, il y en a qui reviennent, mais vous en avez quand même plusieurs. Puis le deuxième défi, c'est les premiers ministres du Québec. Et là, ça, vous en avez un peu plus.
Oh mon Dieu!
Mais sauf qu'il y en a plusieurs dont on a parlé l'année passée
Paul Sauvé.
Joseph Mignot, Paul Sauvé. Tu peux juste, on l'a appelé Paul Sauvé l'année passée, donc vous pouvez l'appeler Paul Sauvé.
Donc maintenant que vous avez vu les élèves se préparer, nous allons passer à la première manche de 3. Dans cette manche, les élèves doivent réciter en ordre et le plus rapidement possible tous les premiers ministres du Canada. Donc voici la tentative des élèves de secondaire 5A.
John A. Macdonald, Alexander Mackenzie, John A. Macdonald, John Abbott, John Thompson, Mackenzie Bowell, Charles Tupper, Wilfrid Laurier, Robert Borden, Arthur Meighen, William Lyon Mackenzie King, Arthur Meighen, William Lyon Mackenzie King, Richard Bennett, William Lyon Mackenzie King, Louis Saint Laurent, John Diefenbaker, Lester B. Pearson, Pierre-Éliott Trudeau, Joe Clark, Pierre-Éliott Trudeau, Joe Clark, Pierre-Éliott Trudeau, Brian Mulroney.
Non, il y en a un avant.
Okay, wait. Joe Clark, Pierre-Éliott Trudeau, John Table, John Mackenzie, Joe Clark. Okay, Joe Clark. Okay, so it's Pierre-Éliott Trudeau, Joe Clark, Pierre-Éliott Trudeau. Can I skip this one and then? No? Okay. Joe Clark, Pierre-Éliott Trudeau, Joe Turner. Joe Turner. After John Turner. Brian Mulroney. Paul Martin. Okay, not Paul Martin. Before Paul Martin is Jean Chrétien.
Non, il en manque un autre.
Mais là.
Il en manque une autre.
Kim Campbell. Oh yeah, John Turner, something Kim Campbell. Paul Martin. No, not Paul Martin. Ah là, je suis confus. Jean Chrétien, Paul Martin. After, okay, something. Jean Chrétien, Paul Martin. Arthur Megan. No, that's way before.
T'en manques deux.
Wait, c'était quoi avant? Where were we?
Kim Campbell, Jean Chrétien, Paul Martin.
C'est pas Justin Trudeau.
Non, il y en a un autre avant.
Jean Chrétien. Stephen Harper, Justin Trudeau.
Bravo, bel effort les 5A. Voici maintenant la tentative des 5B.
Johnny MacDonald, Alexander Mackenzie, Johnny MacDonald, John Abbott, John Thompson, Mackenzie Bowell, Charles Tupper, Arthur Wilfrid Laurier, Arthur Megan, William. No?
Après le mien, un autre. Avant Megan.
No? Oh, Robert Borden. Arthur Megan, William Lyon Mackenzie King, Arthur Megan, William Lyon Mackenzie King, Louis Saint Laurent, Robert Bennett, Robin.
C'est le bon nom de famille, c'est pas le bon prénom.
Robert.
Non.
Robert.
Non. Ça commence par le R, mais c'est pas Robert.
Je l'ai eu avant.
Oui.
Je peux t'avoir un hint?
Non.
Disappointing.
Bel essai les 5B, malheureusement les 5A ont été plus rapides que vous. Maintenant, on passe à la deuxième manche où vous allez devoir nommer tous les premiers ministres du Québec en ordre. Maintenant, voici la tentative des secondaires 5A.
Pierre-Joseph Olivier Chevaux, Gédéon Ouimet, Charles Eugène Boucher de Boucherville, Henri-Gustave Joly-Lobinière, Joseph Adolphe Chapelot, Joseph Alfred Mousseau, John Jones Ross. Après ça, after that we have Louis-Olivier Taillon, Charles Eugène, non, Honoré Mercier, Charles Eugène Boucher de Boucherville, Félix, non, Charles Eugène, Louis-Olivier Taillon, Félix Gabriel, non, ok. James Flynn. Après ça, Félix Gabriel Chapelot, Marchand, Simon Napoléon Parent. Après, Louis Alexandre. Non. Louis Olivier Taillon.
Non. Après Simon Napoléon Parent, c'est qui?
Lomer Gouin, Olivier. I give up.
Et voici la tentative des secondaires 5B.
Pierre-Joseph Olivier Chauveau, Gédéon Ouimet,
Charles-Eugène Boucher de Boucherville, Henri-Gustave Joly de Lotbinière, Joseph-Adolphe Chapelot, Joseph-Alfred Mousseau, John Jones Ross, Louis-Olivier Taillon, Honoré Mercier, père. Charles-Eugène Boucher de Boucherville, Louis-Olivier Taillon, Edmund James Flynn, Félix Gabriel Marchand, Simon Napoléon Parent, Lomer Gouin, Louis-Alexandre Taschereau, Adélard Godbout, Maurice Duplessis, Adélard Godbout, Maurice Duplessis, Paul Sauvé, Antonio Barrette, Jean Lesage, Daniel Johnson, père, Jean-Jacques Bertrand, Robert Bourassa, René Lévesque, Pierre-Marc Johnson, Robert Bourassa, Daniel Johnson, fils, Jacques Parizeau, Lucien Bouchard, Bernard Landry, Jean Charest, Pauline Marois, Philippe Couillard, François Legault.
Donc la marque est maintenant de 1 à 1. Il nous faut donc un dernier défi pour départager qui va gagner le défi de cette semaine. Et sachez que connaître l'histoire de votre école, c'est aussi important que connaître l'histoire du Québec et du Canada. C'est pourquoi, pour ce dernier défi, les élèves devront placer en ordre d'ancienneté 10 enseignants de l'école. L'équipe qui le fera le plus rapidement gagnera officiellement le défi de cette semaine.
Les enseignants, c'est pas l'âge.
C'est pas l'âge de l'enseignant, mais c'est depuis quand il enseigne à l'école.
Ok, donc là, c'est Manuel. Ça aussi.
Ok, est-ce que ça, je pense que ça aussi.
Monsieur Lou, non, Monsieur Lou, Monsieur Patrick, Madame Marika, Michael Legrand, ça vous montre.
Après, c'est lui.
Non, c'est ça.
Elle, ça fait 5 ans. Mais
Elle, ça fait moins.
Moins? T'es sûr?
Et ça.
Ara تمني ولا بايتس
Ok, c'est ça, l'année. Ok.
C'est bon. C'est bon. Non. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est pas bon. Ah! Bye bye. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est encore bon. C'est pas bon.
C'est pas bon?
Non.
What? Switch.
C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est pas bon.
Switch!
C'est bon. C'est bon.
Non. C'est bien, c'est là.
Ok. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est pas bon.
Let's go!
What? C'est bon. C'est bon.
What?
C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est pas bon.
Non, ça c'est bon.
C'est pas bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. Ariane, va-t'en. Continue. Continue. C'est bon. C'est bon. C'est bon. Félicitations 5A, vous avez gagné le défi de cette semaine. Restez à l'écoute pour le prochain défi la semaine prochaine.
I'm a teacher here at Sopagop, and I was dumb enough to do this.
I really liked answering these 5 questions. I hope you know who I am.
Thank you for watching SHTV. We hope you understood why history is important. Let's leave you with some clips from our recent visit to the Pointe-à-Calière Museum.